Hi, hello everyone. My name is Daniel Minton, and this is my chapter presentation over the topic research. There can be no learning without action, and no knowing without the effort to practice and implement what is claimed as knowledge. This was a quote by Ray Revens, and I have shared this quote because I believe it ties in with the topic of research perfectly almost, because in order to, basically what this quote is stating is that in order to gain further knowledge about something, it could be anything, you have to, in order to do this, you have to be able to put in the effort and practice of looking into those details and finding that and searching for that information in order to then be able to implement that knowledge that you have gained and access. And so a lot of the times people ask the question, what is research? And especially they get it confused what research truly is in the specific fields of public relations. So the purpose of research is to allow us as human beings to develop a strategy in public relations in order to conduct your team's specific purposes, goals, or targets that they have set for themselves. Research is also an experiment or an observation designed to minimize effects of variables other than a single independent variable. Research is and must not be persuaded by personal feelings or biased opinions. Instead, it has to represent the facts. So you cannot let your feelings get in the way with the research. You have to be very open-minded and state what you see, not what you want to see or hear. So, throughout this presentation, I'm going to inform you everything you need to know about research. After my presentation, not only will you be able to understand the concept of research more, but you will also be able to apply this concept into your everyday lives, and it will make you and I hope that this will make you become a better researcher. So, throughout this presentation, I'm going to cover the following three key areas that I believe are most critical and important to know when it comes to research. First, I'm going to talk about the four-step process of the research cycle. Then I'm going to discuss the different types of research. And lastly, I'm going to talk about how you yourself can become a better researcher. What makes me very credible to this topic is the fact that I am in a public relations class right now, and I'm getting my degree in public relations. And research plays a very big role in public relations, and so as I have been studying public relations and trying to earn my degree, I've had to do a lot of research. So that is what makes me very credible to this topic. So one of the most important things I like to talk about first is the four-step process that there is in the research cycle. The four steps all include research, planning, implementing, and evaluating. So research is the study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. Planning is the process of making plans for something. Implementing is the process of moving an idea from concept to reality. So for example, when you're implementing something, whenever you have done all of your research, you're not just going to do that research and do nothing with it. You're going to take it and attach it to whatever you are working on as a team or individually by yourself, but you're going to implement it to see whether or not your research was successful or not. Most of the times, if you do thorough and good research and just do it the correct way, whenever you implement your idea, it will most likely come out the way you expect it to be and want it to be. And last but not least, there is evaluating. Evaluating is when you form an idea of the amount, number, or value of an asset. And this is the most important because it can be performed at any point of the research cycle stage in the process. So that is why evaluating is the most important, because it can happen at any point in time of the process. So next I would like to talk about the different types of research, and there are several different types of researches out there. I have selected 9 that I would like to state, and out of these 9, there are 3 that I have broken down and went into further explanation. So out of the different types of researches that I would like to inform you about are primary research, secondary research, formative research, evaluation research, formal research, informal research, and last but not least, well, no, I'm sorry about that, mixed method research, and last but not least, qualitative research. The different type of researches that I would like to inform you about would be primary research, secondary research, formative research, evaluation research, formal research, informal research, mixed method research, qualitative research, and last but not least, quantitative research. And as I said before, there are 3 of these 9 that I have selected to go into further detail about. The first one that I would like to go into detail about would be primary research. Primary research is a type of research that you yourself collect. Examples of this could include surveys, interviews, observations, and more. A good researcher knows how to use both primary and secondary sources in their writing, and to interrogate them all in a cohesive fashion. They will need to be able to establish primary research, so that way they can use both. Next is secondary research, and secondary research is also known as a desk research, since it involves taking existing data that can be sourced from the internet, peer-reviewed journals, textbooks, government archives, and libraries. So secondary information is information that is already established and been put out there. And as I said before, primary research is research that you are kind of going and gaining yourself. So primary research cannot be biased, especially if you are going to get this research on your own, because secondary research should not be biased because it's already published out there for you to get. So the last type of research I would like to cover and discuss is the most important type of research in my opinion, which is why I have saved it for last. This type of research is called qualitative research. It is a type of social science research that collects and works with non-numerical data, which seeks to interpret meaning from the data that helps understand social life through the study of a targeted population or society or a place. So this is why I believe it is one of the most important types of research. I found a quote from a journal, the Biomed Central, from biomedcentral.com, and I decided to share this quote with you because I believe it is a very vital quote. Anyways, the journalist said, "Qualitative research at the pre-trial stage can transform fundamental aspects of trial design / delivery," which is very beneficial because this can, if you can use this tool, then it can make research so much easier for you and so much more beneficial for you. The research that you find will be so much more crucial and just will set you off in the better direction. So next, I would like to talk about how to become a better researcher and the 6 important crucial skills that you need in order to do this. So out of the 6 skills, starting with number 1, is being humble. You have to make sure you are humble and open to criticism. This is a very important skill to have as a good researcher, so that way you are able to always learn and grow in the aspects of research, and so that way you can become a better researcher. If you're not open to other people's ideas and their willingness to help you out, then you will not grow. Number 2 is building a social network. This is a very important thing to do because in order to have successful research done, you need to try to establish and build a good, solid social network, not only with yourself, but with your team as well, if you are working with a team. Number 3 is working hard and working smart. So a lot of times people will say work harder, not smarter. In this case, in research, you need both of these things, because researchers are going to need to have to spend time on a certain project, and they're not going to be able to just stray from it and leave it here and there. They're going to need to sit down and work on it for a certain period of time, and this could be over hours, it could be for a day, it could be for a while, but that is another important asset and skill to have. Number 4, having clear goals, being organized, having good research plan, and researchers, as I said, researchers should have clear goals. Number 5 is stepping out of your comfort zone. A researcher should not be afraid to step out of their comfort zone and go out in order to receive information and data that they do need to collect. And number 6, last but not least, is having good writing skills. You want to make sure you have good writing skills as a researcher, so that way, whenever you are, let's say, in an interview or a meeting, you are able to take notes quickly and write down notes effectively without missing stuff. After talking about these 6 important skills that it takes in order to become a better researcher, I would like to talk about the helpful resources that are needed for researchers in order to find research, especially the more beneficial research. So there are several types of resources out there that researchers can go to get research from, but the most important resources that I have found and would like to talk about would be for sure statements, reports, or just information gathered from a source. It could be from calendars, as well as any research already conducted and reported. This could include copies of documents and documents or more. Next could be web analyst reports, and also prior marketing, advertising, and PR plans. These are all very, very beneficial resources that researchers can use in order to find information. Like as I said before, these are the most important resources, in my opinion, that researchers need to utilize in order to find the most substantial and beneficial data that there is. And so, wrapping it up here, after speaking about the topic of research today and covering the 3 areas that I have covered, I really hope and pray that whoever out there is listening to this was really, truly able to understand the 4 steps of research. I hope they were able to understand the different types of research that there are, as I discussed. And last but not least, I hope you were able to take this information and apply it to make yourself a better researcher as well, because I find that very, very important. So after I covered those 3 topics today, I really hope that you were able to take in as much information as available. And I'd like to wrap it up with a quote from Richard Walker. This quote says, "You have to be able to see the bigger picture as well as the detail. People often find it easier to do one or the other. It is a skilled researcher that can do both." And so basically what this quote means is that in order to become a great researcher, you're going to need to be able to have these 2 different types of skills, and you're going to have to be able to use both of these types of skills and you're going to have to know when to use it and know not when to use them. The reason why I selected this quote is because I believe that it fits perfect within the idea of research. And so I hope you guys liked my presentation, and I hope you were able to learn and benefit a lot from it. So thank you guys very much, and thank you for your time. Have a good one.